Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Well, today I am going to talk about what to do during the end of the year, but this time this is primarily geared towards those who are either expats interested in becoming an expat or for foreign workers. Now, here is the information precaution that I have to let you guys know. First off, the information that I'm providing to you is not to replace or substitute consulting a financial advisor, an accountant, or a lawyer. So please do so before proceeding with anything that I mentioned to you. Just use it as a point of reference to ask questions, okay? Now, being that there are 193 countries in this world, and they all do real estate, retirement, taxes, and healthcare differently, and then on top of that, each job offers different benefits, this is going to be extremely general, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. Now, let's talk about real estate. Typically, countries where the weather is rather cold at this particular point in time in December, the prices of real estate typically drops down. Countries where the climate is a little bit warmer, prices will go up a little bit, okay? Especially, I would say, during COVID-19, because a lot of people have already actually left the United States because of what's going on, the political climate, even though that's recently changed as well. So just keep those things in mind. And then on top of that, most countries, most warmer climate countries, even though the prices may go up, it's still going to be cheaper than many of the colder climate countries, because most of the warmer climate countries are not first world, okay? So other things that you may want to take into consideration is this: what many people are not aware of is that overseas properties can be placed inside of a healthcare savings account, a self-directed IRA, or a solo 401k, a self-directed solo 401k. Okay, you can use the money within those accounts to buy property. You can also get a mortgage, but make sure if you get a mortgage, it can't be from, a family member cannot be loaning you money. It has to be from an institution or a company, okay? And the mortgage has to be in the IRA's name and not your personal name. So instead of LJ Walker, it would be LJ Walker IRA. That's how it would be set up, okay? And also, you can't buy it outside of the IRA and then transfer it into the IRA, not with foreign property, okay? Next, the title has to be in your IRA's name and not in your personal name, right? Now, there are some companies, some HSA companies, that will not let you buy property sight unseen, particularly when it comes to international transactions. They want proof that you actually physically went there. So save your airline tickets or your cruise ship tickets to prove that you actually physically went and saw this particular property. Please note this though. If you buy a property in Canada, England, or France, the IRS can seize those properties if you have not paid taxes on them. Okay? But also note this: England and France still rule territories outside of Europe. So those properties can be taken too. So even though These are tax saving vehicles. Let's say you owe the IRS money and you haven't paid them, they can still go into your HSA, your self-directed IRA, or your solo 401k and take those particular properties to compensate for the taxes that you did not pay. Okay. Next, the IRS will tax you 35%. It's something called the UBI tax on that international property, even though it is inside of your IRA. In order to prevent that, I've been told that you have to set up a UBIT blocker corporation. And there are some HSA companies and self-directed IRA companies that can do that for you. So you would sit down with them and have them set that up. You also have something called offshore IRAs, okay, which is an IRA with an offshore LLC. The IRA is inside of an offshore LLC, okay? That's what that is. As an expat, all right, you can also have a self-directed IRA, an HSA, and even an FSA, okay? As long as you have a high deductible healthcare plan, or if you opened up the high deductible healthcare plan while you were here in America before you went overseas. What you do after you open it is not an issue. As long as you open it here, as long as you open it while you have that, you're okay. All right. And also as long as you are not on Medicare. As for foreigners who work here in the United States, you can also open up an HSA, a self-directed IRA, or a solo 401k, as long as you are not enrolled in your home country's national health coverage plan. If you're enrolled over there, you cannot have those plans here. Now, if you move back to your country, your home country, you're not allowed to contribute to those plans anymore. However, you can still use the money inside of those plans for whatever medical expenses that you may incur while you are living overseas. Okay, but keep in mind though, it's only for surgeries. It's not for the cosmetic surgery. It has to be, like open heart surgery, some Achilles tendon surgery, something like that. Okay, that's what you would have to use it for. You're not allowed to buy any prescription medicine overseas with any of the accounts, with the HSA or the FSA. Can't withdraw money from them, right? Now, some expats, what they do is they will set up an American address. Why? Because let's say you did not open up those accounts while you are in America, but you are still an American citizen, you just happen to be living somewhere else. What some expats do is they'll go to the UPS, and they will set up an address so that all the mail will go there, and then the people at that particular address will forward it to wherever it is that they're located at. Okay. Now, as for expats who already opened up one of those accounts, they too, again, they can use the money overseas for any hospitalizations that they have. But there are a number who are lucky enough and they just wait till they're 65 to withdraw that money out. Okay. So, because see, if you withdraw the money out before you're 65 and it's not a healthcare issue, you will be taxed tremendously. And you don't want to do that. So it's best to just keep it there. And again, you can withdraw it for whatever medical emergencies that may arise while you are abroad. And of course, you can still use it when you come back to the United States and something happens to you here. All right. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind, though. There are some countries that do not take U.S. insurance. So, unfortunately, if you live in such a country, you will not be able to use the money in those accounts. And then another thing is you do have some countries that don't have an ATM machine. And as you know, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to, pull the money out and then pay for whatever medical emergencies that come out. They give you a credit card. So you have to be able to use that credit card in an ATM machine in order to take the money out for the medical expenses. Okay? So that's another thing that you have to keep in mind. Okay, next. When it comes to fees, you have to realize that you might be charged a conversion fee, or you might also be charged an international fee. The same credit card fees apply when using an FSA or an HSA card abroad. It may be in some instances cheaper to just come out of pocket, because I know that several West Indian countries, they have very good health care. You can get a root canal for like $25 American, right? It may be best in that situation not to use the FSA or HSA card for anything that cheap. In that instance, it may be just better for you to just take the $25 and pay the dentist down there to have that work done. Okay? And then next, along the line, I mentioned in the earlier video about what to do at the end of the year, I mentioned joining meetups and Toastmaster. I want you to know that those two clubs are international. Now, I'm not sure if you're a foreigner, if you're going to be able to deduct that from your taxes, but I know that if you are an American expat and you have kept your American citizenship, you will be able to deduct Meetup and Toastmaster from your taxes, because you still have to pay U.S. taxes even though you're living in another country. The only way to avoid that, of course, is to give up your U.S. citizenship, and some of you are not willing to do that. So I'm just letting you know, joining self-improvement clubs for your profession are definitely still tax deductible, and you can find them on meetup.com. You can go to Toastmaster. Both of these are definitely international. There may be other clubs too that are overseas that you join that should also be deductible for those Americans that are there. If you are a foreigner, if you are born overseas, I'm not sure about that. Again, you may want to touch base with your accountant over there, okay, to see if those deductions apply to you. All right, guys, so that is all I have for you tonight. I apologize to my foreign listeners, people from overseas, my international community, for not including you in my previous end of year video. So I have dedicated this specifically to you. Again, please use this information wisely. Pass this along, share this amongst your friends, because each one reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.